Parents, this is exactly how my students increased their SAT scores 150 points in less than 12 weeks. For those of you guys who don't know me yet, my name is Jared Wynn. I'm the founder and director of Geometry Gurus College Prep. And at this point in my career, I've helped hundreds of students increase their SAT scores so that they can go to their dream colleges or qualify for scholarships. In every single video that I post, I give you guys one actionable step to helping your teen increase their SAT score. With that being said, family, let's get straight into it. This is how my students raised their SAT scores in less than 12 weeks by 150 points or more. Number one, the number one quality that every single one of those students had is that they had daily consistency, which means that every single day they did the assigned amount of problems that we gave them. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. So we have a mandatory 200 problem a week cadence in which we need to work with these students, okay? We tell them straight up, hey, there is a baseline amount of work that you need to do every single week, or you're just straight up not going to get the results. Because if you want a top 1% score, you need to do what the top 1% do, and that's be extremely consistent. Now, we understand as well that these are still teenagers that we're working with. We need to be able to hold them accountable as well. So that's why every single week we had our team check in with these students and make sure that they were doing their work. And of course, if they weren't doing their work, their parents would know. All right. And number two, weekly diagnostics. Now, the reason why we want to do weekly diagnostics is because so many students, they lack the stamina. They lack the ability to actually endure through the entire exam, and they're not able to show what they actually know, because by the time they get to the ending part of the exam, they're either too tired, they spent too much time on the beginning problems, or number three, they're just over it by then. They just don't want to take the test anymore because they lack the stamina. Okay, so that's why it's really important to do some sort of weekly diagnostic. Now, I'm not saying you need to do a full one every single week. That's ludicrous. I would only ever suggest that if you were, 6 weeks or less. But for the students who are here for anywhere between 8 to 12 weeks, a practice test every other week, with the weeks in between being a subject-only test for math or English, respectively, right? That was a good cadence for them to make sure that they were consistent. Okay? Number two, true diagnosis. What do I mean by that? So many SAT programs, they look at what your teen gets wrong and they're like, hey, that's the issue. That's what you need to do right here. This is what you need to practice on. They show you the what you're missing, but the problem is they don't show you why you're missing it. Or they don't even understand that maybe it might not even be a weakness. So what they do is they make you just do a bunch of random practice problems that mimic the things that you got wrong, even if you understand it. What do I mean by this? Most students, 99% of students that I work with, they usually get the last 10 problems wrong on the exam. And then they go back and they look at it. They're like, Jared, I actually understand how to do these problems. Okay, yeah, the reason for that is because you spent 90 seconds on a 30-second problem for the beginning of the exam. So by the time you got to the ending problems, you just ran out of time. You got fatigued, right? So it gives you the illusion that the end problems are the issue, when in reality, it was actually the beginning problems that were the issue, because you were spending so much time on the beginning ones, right? So a lot of teachers, what they do is they like, okay, yeah, ending problems, work on the ending problems, even if you understand how to do them. That just doesn't make any sense. So majority of students, if they just figure out what the true problem is, then they're already ahead of 50% of other students, because now we just need to give you real problems that mimic those true weaknesses. But if you don't know what the true weakness is, you're not going to, no matter how much practice you do, you're not going to get it, okay? Number three, the reason why that my students, they were able to raise their score by 150 plus points is because they had a 10,000 foot overview of everything that was on the exam as well. What do I mean by that? That means that there are some things that they just straight up forgot how to do, right? Or they just don't understand. So if they don't understand, or if they, just straight up forgot it, then we need to give them that 10,000 foot overview of everything that we have, of all the SAT concepts that are going to show up on the exam. Okay. The reason why we do that is because if we don't know what we don't know, it's going to be really hard to fix it. All right. So the way we do this, we use group clinics as well, so that they can interact with other people who also forgot a lot of the material as well. Okay. Number four, frequent one-on-ones. So a lot of students, what happens with them is like, they think that group sessions, they think that just doing a course, they think that's going to be enough for them to get a 1,500. No. You're missing the strategy. If you're missing, most students, they have some conceptual issues, but the main issue is the strategy. They don't know how to solve these problems in a test-like environment so that it mimics the real thing. So most of these students, or all of these students that came through this program, they all had frequent one-on-ones, okay? So the frequent one-on-ones, it definitely played in their ability to diagnose and attack their biggest weakness. And number 5, accountability. Now, I don't mean like, okay, hey, you got to make sure you do X amount of problems every single day. That's part of it. But accountability means that they recognize that everything they do up until this point, the score that they end up getting at the end of the program, it is entirely up to them. It is entirely their fault if they don't get the results that they want. Our job is not to take the test for you. Our job is to push you in the right direction and make sure you don't waste any valuable time doing things that you're already good at. But most importantly, it is our job to take you to the water. You must drink it. So my best students are the ones that realize that if they do all of these things, number 1 to number 4, that they're going to get the results that they're happy with, right? Because they are 100% accountable for their own actions. And how do you think that translates into the rest of their life, right? When they realize that everything, every outcome that they have is a result of all of their actions, not just for SAT. I'm talking about sports. I'm talking about the career, income, whatever, okay? So family, that's everything for me today. If you guys need help applying this to your team's unique situation, make sure you go ahead and send me a DM or an email. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. No obligations. Until then, have a great rest of your day.